Here are the 8 steps you need to buy your first rental property. Let's dive into it.
Welcome to the Smackfest, the beat down. The SWAT team is here on another beautiful day of shutting the week down.
Hey guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. This channel is all about financial freedom through real estate and making everyday good life decisions with your money so you are not working a 9 to 5 until you're 65. If you've been asking yourself, what are the first steps I need to take and I need to know to get into real estate? Here they are. So the first one is you need to be able to pick your market. Now, what do I mean? It means you need to learn I recommend your local market first. I live in the Dallas area, so I want to know all of Dallas and Fort Worth because that's the neighboring large city next to Dallas. I want to know everything about my local area. Basically, a bubble around my house and like a 45-minute drive from there is kind of my local area. And that's the way I can have my contractors go out there. I have my network and team all in the same area because if I buy in Baltimore, if I buy in Los Angeles, New York, Florida, Miami, my local guys aren't going to go out there. It changes the dynamic of what you're looking for. So start local and learn your market. Now, when I say learn your market, I mean this. For instance, I didn't know anything about land values. I spent 24 hours doing nothing but driving around, calling ads, and learning about land values. And in 24 hours, I can tell you exactly what size parcel is worth what in this general geographical area because I studied the market. I don't even buy land, but I was looking to buy something, put a storage facility on it, and I said, hey, I know how much building costs are, how much is land value, how much is a good spot, how much is a spot, maybe behind the woods, and I can compare values, and I learned everything I need to know in 24 hours, and you can do the same. The next is to build your team. Now, when I say build your team, I don't mean like a bunch of people that are looking for deals for you to buy because that's really going to be your job initially until you learn your job really well, and then you can outsource it and teach others to take over what you were doing initially, okay? It's all about building your business from the ground up. You learn it, you teach it, and then you can be a little bit more hands-off. So you're going to need this on your team. Take notes. You're going to need a good realtor. Realtor is there for really multiple options. I'm a buy and hold investor myself. However, you need a good realtor. They run comps. They run maybe flipping comps, like sales comps. They run rent comps for you. They can actually have access to the MLS, which you and I don't if you're not a realtor already. You're also going to meet wholesalers at real estate investing events. Walk around saying, I'm a cash buyer. Even if you're not, because you can use the hard money, that's okay. To them, it doesn't matter because the hard money is going to be paying them off immediately. We'll get to that in a minute. Also, highly recommend this. Get you an insurance broker. It doesn't cost you any money. They shop all the companies for you, and you can occasionally shop the broker just to make sure you're getting the best deal. But I look for an insurance broker. That's one of the first things that you should look for because, hey, when you find a property, you finally get it under contract, you're going to call and go, hey, 123 Main Street, I need you to run me some comps. She's going to blast it all out to maybe 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 companies and then come back and say, hey, look, I found you a DP3 policy, which is the best, by the way. Probably didn't even know about that, did you? There's a 1, 2, and a 3. The 3 is going to have the most coverage, okay? Just taught you something. So that cheap insurance versus the insurance that's an extra $100 more a year, but this is a DP1, this is a DP3. These are what you're looking for, and the insurance broker will tell you all about that. Insurance broker is going to do all the work and all the legwork for you, okay? She gets paid by the insurance company. It doesn't cost you a dime. It just saves you a lot of time. And that just rhymed. That's a good way to remember it. And next, you're going to want a good property manager. How do you find a good property manager? Go on Google, type in property management company Dallas, Miami, Los Angeles, New York, whatever. And you're going to get a huge list of property management companies in your area. You're going to look for lots of reviews and good reviews. Basically, like you're looking for, 4.2 star and above, 65 reviews, that kind of stuff you're looking for. Call the property management company. Make sure that they pick up the phone. Act like you were the customer and you were interested in a property. Hey, called 123. Bam, I'm on the phone. Are they picking up? Are they nice to you when they pick up? Can they answer questions for you? Or does it send it off to China or India and, you don't know what's going on because they have to transfer you 10,000 times for you to talk to a human being that actually knows about the property that you're trying to get information on. Okay, so your property management, not all property managers are good property managers. You as a real estate investor need to know, this is a good property manager. This is how I know, because I act like a customer when I call them. And that's how you know if it's a good property manager. They answer your phone. They're courteous. They answer your questions. And the ones that don't, you cross off the list. Because just because they have good reviews doesn't mean they're actually a good property manager. Literally test them on that. Okay, the next is learn to evaluate deals. I make tons of videos on learning how to evaluate deals. I'll put a link at the very end of this video of how to evaluate a real estate deal, okay? Literally from start to finish. But here's the thing. I use rentometer.com to do my rental comps. I also use a realtor basically to kind of double check my work, okay? Realtor for sales comps and rent comps as well. And this is like after you know, maybe you're under contract or right about to be under contract, you'll double check. You don't want to be calling your realtor every 10 minutes for every property you're looking at. And the next one is I actually use Redfin for comps, and it's like a non-MLS way to determine about what properties you're selling for, like on a street. If everything is sold for, you know, 300,000 plus, then I know that, hey, this property I'm buying for 175 and needs about $30,000 in rehab is a good deal, and I can confirm it with the sales comps on that street before I even call my realtor to verify again. Okay, so that's a way that you can do down dirty. It literally takes a couple minutes. You just need to know how to do it properly from the get-go, and I show you how. Oh, by the way, if you like this content, I do all of this for free. I sell nothing, so be sure to subscribe. It's 100% free, and smashing that like button helps people like you see this content to make you a better and more informed real estate investor. And here's a cute picture of a puppy for smashing that like button. Okay, the next is to go out and find a deal. There's so many people out there when I ask them and they say, you know, hey, I'm having a little bit hard time finding or you know, some deals, or I haven't closed a deal in a while. I always ask them this: how many properties have you made an offer on in the last month, in the last 2 weeks, in the last week, how many offers have you made? And majority of the time it's zero or very, very little, okay? You're not going to come across somebody that's made, you know, 60 offers this month that's not buying anything long term, okay? They're going to, look, this real estate business is a little bit about timing, a little bit about luck sometimes. Therefore, you need to put out offers. There was a house, 2 houses yesterday. There's one asking $255. I needed all new floors and some updates. The rents were like $2,900 a month. I offered $205. I figured, look, there's about $35,000 in rehab, and it was picked up by somebody else the day before. But nevertheless, I made the offer. There's an apartment complex yesterday. It was a rather small one. It was a 5-unit, but they're all 5-bedroom, 3-bath. They're asking like $1.4 million. My numbers came out to it's worth about $1 million, maybe 1.1. I literally came in and said, hey, look, I'll give you $1 million. And if they came back with 1.1, maybe I'll close the deals too. But if I don't ask and I don't make the offer, then it will never happen. And you might be saying to yourself, that's great. I don't have $1 million. Well, guess what? I'm not putting down $1 million either. Okay? I'm literally going to put down a small down payment to buy that, and that money doesn't even have to be mine. It could be from other investors that I outsource and say, hey, look, I'll pay you 1% on your money. Like, you give me $70 grand, I'll give you $700 a month, and then that'll buy you the property, and then when you do a cash out refi, you can pay everybody back, and now you can secure a new 30-year loan. It sounds crazy. It works. Hang with me, we'll get a little bit more into it. Okay, so now the next step is to actually buy the property. And okay, let's just use the old example a second ago. So they're asking $255. I buy it for, let's just say I did. I bought it for $205, okay? Let's start with that. Okay, so how do you buy this thing for $205? What are my options? How do I actually do it? Because I'm going to assume maybe you don't have cash. Maybe you don't want to put out the cash. Okay, you have $205,000. You want to buy that property, but you're not moving in it, so you can't put down 3%. You got to put down 20%, right? How are you going to buy that property? There's really 2 ways to do it. You can, several ways to do it, technically, but you can either put down 20% down if you have the money, 20% down, that'll buy you in at a 30-year term, okay? You can literally buy it as a rental property, not move in it, put down 20% on it, bam, it matures, okay? Or you can do this, okay? You can buy it with hard money. Hard money is this. Think about it like this. Hard money is short-term money, okay? And I'm going to back up just a little bit. On the original purchase, if you don't have the debt-to-income ratio to be financed, that's okay. There's something called debt coverage service ratio lenders out there. Literally, just type it in. They don't need and they don't use your income to qualify for a rental property. Let me say that again. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how much debt you have. You can still buy the property. If the property cash flows and your credit is good, you can secure this deal, okay? It cost me 2 years of work and waiting because I did not know that, because the banks, of course they're not going to tell me, didn't mention anything about that being a possibility at all, okay? It's very, very important that you understand that banks are not your only option, okay? Debt coverage service ratio lenders out there will literally finance you for a house without using your income. Mind blown. I know, it's crazy, and that alone, if you take nothing else from this video, can make you millions and millions and millions of dollars in the real estate game because they're not using your income. But you need to have good credit. Bring me at least 720 credit score. And I don't mean literally bring me. I want you to have 720 credit score, ideally 740 and above. So you need to keep your credit up in this real estate game, period. I don't want to hear excuses. Keep up your credit from 720 to 740 or above at all times, period. Okay, if you let your credit drop down too far, now nobody is giving you anything except for an investor that's going to buy for cash. That's it, because you're not getting it any other way. Unless you finance and buy it through somebody else's, but that's getting, a little bit more creative. But here's the thing. If you go the hard money route, okay, and a hard money is short-term money, and you buy the property, you can buy the property. Let's just say it's a 12-month loan, okay? You might be freaking out. Don't. It's a 12-month loan. You can pay off at any point. There's no early payoff penalty. Interest at the time of this video is like 12% per year, but if you only use it for 2 months, you're not paying that much interest. You pay about 2 points up front. That's 2% of the loan up front as fees, and then you're also going to pay title fees as well. I want you to understand that. But here's the thing. If you have no other way to buy this property, go to a hard money lender, get a quote, say how much will it take me to buy this property? Sometimes it might be, my last property was 15% down, not 20% down. Here's why I say hard money lenders though, okay? You buy it with a hard money lender, you immediately get in, you rehab it, you make it all pretty and ooh-yah, okay? Then you get it reappraised, okay? I just bought property for $310,000, It appraised for low 4s. I did floors, countertops, paint, cabinets, some pools, and appliances, okay? And some ceiling fans, okay? I made it look pretty, okay? I didn't move walls. I didn't change up electrical or anything. I didn't even tear off the cabinets and stuff. I literally removed them, painted them, put some nice hardware on them. I removed the ugly like apartment mirrors, you know what I mean? The hold off, being held by a little plastic thing. I took that off. I painted the wall. I put up a nice mirror. Mirror was like $60 at Home Depot. It makes the place look so much better. Here's a picture right here of an example of a before and after of a bathroom I just did in this house. Pretty much the whole house is basically kind of facelifted like that. But simple stuff like that. You get in, you spend 20 grand, it brings up the value of the property $100,000 sometimes. I just times 5 my money on my investment, okay? But this is what you do. You get a hard money, you get it fixed up, and a lot of times these hard money guys also have fixed 30-year loan options as well. So you go back to the hard money guy and say, hey, look, I want to refi out into a fixed 30-year loan. And he is going to do a cash out refi, and he's going to give you 75% of the new appraisal on that property. Okay, so he's going to do the math, and all of a sudden you bought the property for less. You maybe put everything on a Home Depot 0% credit card. When you do the cash out refi, could be sitting in a much better position if you go that route. You need to run your numbers. You need to understand how this works so you don't get burned. But every deal is a little bit different, okay? So you're going to have to pencil them out, but it's all about understanding what's out there so you can study what's out there so you can understand it so you can put the numbers together correctly so you understand the risk while getting in, because there are some deals that I bought that don't come and they appraise, at less than I thought they should, or sometimes they appraise much higher, and that's great. It all kind of evens out, but you need to understand what you're getting into, because if you have to pay Joe Schmo back 40 grand in 90 days, or he gets penalized from pulling from his 401k, that's a much riskier proposition versus if it's your uncle and he says, hey, pay me back, in a reasonable time frame, I'm a little bit lenient with it, and just pay me per month until you can pay me off in full. That deal will probably work better than somebody that has to have their money back in 90 days, not 91. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want you to get in a position where you could get burnt. Okay, so we're moving on to the next. So the next one is either you're going to sell the property with your realtor, or like me, I rent all my properties. I don't sell anything. I hold on to everything for long-term appreciation and for net worth gain over my lifetime so I can hand it down, generational wealth to my family and my son. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to list this property for rent, for instance, okay? And you're going to list it with your property manager. That's why it's important to have a good property manager. You're going to call them, you're going to say, hey, I got this property, 123 Street. It's cleaned up, it's ready to go. Send out some people. They'll get pictures, they'll put it on the MLS for you, and they will lease it out. But this is also what I do. And I don't have to do this, you don't have to do this. I do it and it helps tremendously, okay? I put the same listing, I take their pictures as well. You can take yours as well. I put it on Facebook with their information as a link, okay? And I put for rent, all the information in, the cities that, all the Facebook groups that it's associated with, okay? Like, Dallas for rent in Dallas, houses in Dallas, for rent in Dallas, blah, 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 all the combinations for Dallas homes for rent, okay? And I put it in, let's just say 6 different groups. And I have a paragraph written out. Yes, this property is available. These are all the amenities it includes. You have to do the lawn. You have to pay your own electric and water. This property is, square footage, the size, pictures of the backyard. Call for more information and for showings and for applications, call, in this case, my property manager and their phone number. And that was the same paragraph. I'll copy and paste it, and I'll keep it in a little folder in my phone, right? And every person goes ding, and they want to know information. Copy and paste, send. Copy and paste, send. Copy and paste, send. Copy and paste, send. For every single person that asks, if they have a one-off question, I'm the owner, I can actually answer that one-off question. And then I also send the same paragraph as well, letting everybody know, yes, it's available. Contact my property manager for more information and showings and applications. And literally, it's just everybody that's not looking on the MLS, but it's looking on Facebook. I'm actually getting both of those groups, and I'm making sure that people are seeing my listings. Because not everybody goes to MLS, and not everybody going to MLS uses Facebook. People using Facebook don't go, vice versa. I think I said that backwards, but nevertheless, not everybody uses every platform. So I know my property manager uses MLS. They don't use Facebook. I use Facebook and connect it basically to MLS. Okay, like saying, look, this is what it is. It works tremendously, guys, tremendously. Literally, my phone sometimes is like a musical instrument once I list something for sale. It's like ding, 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 and I'm like, oh my gosh. For one, this is probably under rented. Okay, and then I know, hey, this place might be a little too cheap, and that was the case rental before last. I'm going to have to bump prices up a little bit because, hey, look, everything's going up in price, and I apparently under rented it because I literally had like 300 messages on this one house in like 1 week. Like, it was nuts. So that's a good way you can also gauge your rental price and what people are saying is off of Facebook, because you're not going to get any feedback on MLS. Think about it. People look at it, and what do? They scroll. On Facebook, they can put a laughing face. That's one of my favorite ones to see. I'm like, oh, that person apparently didn't like my listing. They can put a laughing face, or they can comment or something, and you're actually getting feedback from the public, okay? And then you can use that to adjust price up or down in that case. But highly recommend using Facebook and using a property manager in conjunction with each other. And hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like the content, be sure to watch this video right here. I think you're going to enjoy it. Until next time, see you on the next one.